Greetings, Earthlings. You know, I've always been making stuff, even long before I picked up Minecraft. Found this flash drive that I had with stuff on it from way back in the day. Ancient history here, ancient art. Back in the day, when I was 11 years old or so, back in 2010, I would make little animations. I think the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, and I was like, I could do that. So I grabbed Microsoft Paint and made this one. So you got the T-Rex, and you see the laser bounces off like 5 mirrors. There's just a random mirror in the sky that the laser bounces off of to destroy the Pizza Hut. But the Pizza Hut, of course, has a pirate sword, so it just stabs him in the nose. T-Rex pulls out a laser gun, shoots it. That doesn't look like a laser, but I don't know. The Pizza Hut can regenerate, but the dinosaur does have a nuclear bomb, so he blows up the Pizza Hut. Yeah. That one was pretty simple to explain. If you can grasp that one, then to understanding my 11-year-old self. Oh man, I made like a sequel series to like the Pizza Death, where it was like monsters versus fast food restaurants. It was really weird, and like unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on who you ask, most of the series was lost to time. So then I started this series way back January 2011, so that would have been like 2 weeks later. Just drawing in Microsoft Paint and moving every frame and saving it as individually. So yeah, the moon comes out. You obviously have Samus Aran from Metroid, and she shoots the Man in the Moon and Orion, who combined into a guy, and then the Man in the Moon shoots laser beam eyes. She plants a power bomb, and bada bing, he explodes. Easy, right? Okay, so it didn't show up on the old CRT monitor that we had down in the basement, but that little space in between her legs is a closed area. So when I dumped black on the background, it did not get that. So it's still blue from my last video. So yeah, in this one, a clone of her randomly materializes because my friend showed me like this Nintendo DSi flip note where like the guy made like a full video game scene and it had like the A button moving. So I was like, oh, that's easy, I can do that. So I did this. Yeah, it looks just like it's prompting you to press the A button on your Game Boy Advance. Yeah, no, this is AAA quality here. Plasma beam? Wow, couldn't even use a text bubble. Or fill the giant box around Morph Ball. I am pretty proud, or I was way back then, of I actually calculated out how many shots it would take to actually kill her, using of course original Metroid. So that's actually 5 missiles, which is the exact amount required to do 63 damage to her. See, and you can see it goes from 13 down to 7, which is 13 minus 5, you know. And so she blows her up, and it says "Fool onward," and it says "to be continued." This was before I had even heard of JoJo, so no roundabout. But okay, then the next video picks up like I think this is like it's a very similar frame, if not just the same as the last frame of the other one. Oh well, obviously not the very last frame. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's the exact same terrain, the exact same thing, just with a different name, and that's what I would do. Is I would just open Microsoft Paint and I would just draw a thing, paste in the guys that I wanted after, if I already had them drawn, or just draw new guys, and then I'd use the select tool and move them around and dump stuff, and then I would just move it frame by frame and hit save as, and then just increase the number of the file by 1. It took up a lot of time, but when I was 11, 12, I had a lot of time, you know. It was tons of time. Oh yeah, this was like my great comedic moment here. So you see the jelly puss. It's an octopus, a jellyfish, and a cat. So octopus, octo jelly. I don't remember the justification, but it was from one of the from one of the fast food restaurants versus monsters that got lost to time, and I put it here in the EFS. So like, okay, so the jelly puss grabs her with a is that a tentacle? Is that like a jellyfish tentacle or an octopus tentacle? I can't tell. But then her speech bubble comes up, and I accidentally had green selected in Microsoft Paint. So my great comedic mind came up with, what will she think? Wow. My handwriting is not much better these days than it was back then. And then she thinks, white, please. See, this is actually a meta joke. She is breaking the fourth wall. This was long before Deadpool existed, and she is calling out in her mind that her thought bubble is not the correct color. So then it changes to white. Oh man, I cannot decide. Dang. Quite. Did I forget the U in quite? I can't even tell what's going on there. Okay. But then like the tentacle, like oh, the tentacle's actually a slightly different color. The part that's wrapped around her and the normal part. It was really hard to tell colors apart. I think my dad only had like a 256 color monitor, so you couldn't even tell. Okay, yeah. So then it lifts her up, and then she shoots plasma beam, and then like the download wire like comes into her back randomly out of the ground. I don't know where it came from, and that changes her visor color. So then she jumps up and just plasma beams it, and it goes roar, roar, scream. Yeah, and then its face disappears afterwards, and then it explodes. Yes, and then like her thought bubble goes down into her head. To be continued as always. Wow, classic. Okay, so then we got number 4. So number 4, I did a lot of firsts for the series. No, actually I didn't, did I? So there's like this. This is a Zyglian ship, I think I called it. Zyglon? I don't remember. It started with a Z. I used to draw a lot of spaceships in Microsoft Paint. And this was like the alien faction that put a red Z on all of their stuff, and they used Art Deco. And they were really big and blocky. And then it drops down this little bionicle canister with a Scottish parachute. In my head, like, when I fully put this into Windows Movie Maker and made it a movie, I was going to put like some kind of Scottish bagpipes as this came down. So then a giant pencil, because my friend showed me creator versus creation, and see the pencil draws a spring, and then like randomly the ground erupts and then disappears. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. Okay, so if you look really closely right here, I don't know if you can notice it, but like Samus does a nice smooth jump, right? But then the ground appears under her feet, so that's a slight issue that I had. It's obviously I couldn't tilt her legs to make her stand at an angle, so I just had to draw some ground under her feet. But like, you probably wouldn't even have noticed if I didn't say anything, right? Okay. I wonder what's inside, she says. Oh, and then my second comedic moment. It's Admiral Akbar from it's a stap. It's a stap. I don't know why I'm having Admiral Akbar say it's a stap. That's that. Oh, it's a strap. It's a Strad? Curse of Strad? I don't know what I was thinking, man. I couldn't understand a word. Yeah, me neither, Samus. I would hop in it. Okay, sure. Oh, it's Dr. Octadompus. That's right. This is when I watched the laser collection. Yeah. And he just blasts the laser, but she jumps over it because she's Samus, and Samus is really cool, you know. And then okay, you can see a little bit of the Ultimate Showdown, and you know, early, you know, late 2000s animation, online influence. Okay, my favorite part is watch this. So it goes through, his robotic octopus arm comes off, and blood is coming out of his robotic octopus arm, like. It's robotic. It doesn't have blood. That's goofy. That's goofy, tiny Martian. Okay. So yeah, she jumps down, and then like the backup. There's no to be continued because it wasn't going to be continued. But then I continued it. This is probably my least favorite one, EFS 5. So this is the Mega Man boss rush, but it's just random pictures that I found on my dad's computer. So obviously she kills Justin Bieber, because who was alive in 2011 and didn't either love or hate Justin Bieber? He was a very polarizing figure at the time, you know. Rough Ruffman shows up, not because I dislike Rough Ruffman, he's a pretty cool guy, but just because I had that picture on my computer. Word Girl shows up. Okay, now I actually really liked Word Girl. It's a great show, but This is actually an evil ant fungus who has taken over Word Girl and must be destroyed. This is quite the, you can see the fungus coming out of her arm to reach out and attack Samus, and Samus has to make the split-second decision. That's why it flashes inverted, because her morals are inverted, and she has to kill her old friend Word Girl, who is now no longer truly Word Girl. She's not herself, you know? She's being controlled by the fungus. So, yeah, she makes a split-second decision. And Captain Huggy Face, yeah, he has angry eyebrows, so like he's got to be evil. So this is actually Ruff's evil cousin. You can tell by the gold filling in his tooth. He throws a cat. That cat is actually a bomb, by the way. And then Samus drops a bomb of her own. So this is a really technically impressive scene for me at this time, because two things are actually happening at the same time, which is unprecedented in me. And it's coming up with dialogue in the middle of action. Just like with the pizza death, there are random mirrors in the sky that reflect her shot back around to completely destroy Ruff's evil cousin, but then his blood becomes acidic when it mixes with the cat's blood, and so it starts eating away at everything, including him. Okay, it does still look pretty cool having these air bubbles like go up. That's a pretty cool effect. But then a random portal, you can see, I very subtly hinted that it's a portal by writing the word portal, but it only appears for a frame. And then it just massively shows up and all the acid is gone, but not Samus. Oh yeah, this is the first time her ship shows up. And yeah, that's definitely Adam from Metroid Fusion. Keep in mind, this was like 10 years before Metroid Dread, so we had no clue what happened after Metroid Fusion. So, yep, there goes Samus. Yep, goodbye. Yeah, all in all, technically very impressive, but I feel like the story on that one just isn't as strong, you know. So then I come back with number 6. In number 6, I feel like the narrative is a lot better, but there are a couple mechanics that don't make sense. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So she comes in the ship, right? So here's the ship, lands. She says, "Pick me up when I call." Again, the little A button flash. I really liked that back in the day. Oh, and the invert flash. Hyperspeed, there we go. Yeah, and she backs. Okay, it's really actually technically impressive for me at this time. I made Samus look up here, which is something I never did again, and this is why. And then the speech bubble moves with him as she moves away. So then this Iowa State University, or you know what, the red and blue gorillas guy, but it's a mole, shows up, and he has really long fingernails, and his fingernails constantly grow, and his head does a somersault. I don't know why that actually happens. So she jumps up, she lands on his fingernails, but they're too brittle, so they crack and they can't support her weight. It shoots a laser out its nose, as you do, but it starts shooting the fingernails back at her, and it's blood. Okay, so this is where I start really getting into the lore. So on this planet, there are giant mole creatures that are half orange and half blue, and their blood actually coagulates super fast into hard fingernails that go out and attack people. So this is kind of like, I feel like there's an anime where like that happens, but I don't remember which one it is. Or like, I'll give you to the count of 3.14159265658. 8979323846643383279. Yeah, I was really proud as a kid that I had memorized so much of Pi, and I still have it memorized. It's just I'm not as proud of it, you know. Like, it's a cool thing, but like 123.1415926565879. See, and she doesn't actually finish counting to it, and then she shoots a super missile. So at some point she gained the super missile upgrade, even though she had power bombs from the very first one. I feel like that's a minor continuity issue. I'm just guessing that she probably did some kind of sequence break, which is very well known in the Metroid community. Lots of Metroid players make sequence breaks. It's one of the classic Metroid moves, you know. So I'll let that one slide. She sequence broke and got power bombs, but she doesn't get a lot of power bomb pickups because she hasn't gotten to the story beat where power bomb pickups start dropping. So that part, you know, it kind of makes sense. So EFS 7 is actually the last one that I did, and I don't know that I actually finished it. No, I did. But on my flash drive, there are approximately 82 frames that are missing. and I don't know what happened to them. So yeah, you see the first, what, like 13, 20, 18 frames, yeah? First 18 frames come in. Oh, right, that's spoilers for the end, hold on. So yeah, it goes from number 1 to number 10. So yeah, there are actually a bunch of frames missing there too. Head to the Chozo Repair Center, yeah. Okay, so basically, I'll tell you the story beats that happen in between here and here. So she goes to the facility and she walks in the door, and then there's like a pipe that hisses steam, and that was a really cool steam effect that I did with the airbrush and paint, but unfortunately it's lost to time, so only the legends truly speak of it. So then this green thing comes out, and this is right about where it comes out, and then it melts away the pipes. She has a wave beam now, by the way, and it goes rock, and it shoots a giant red box, and then same as shoots through the box, goes inside of the box, and then is on top of the box. See, she actually clipped through the box. That is also a very well-known exploit in Super Metroid, that you can clip through the red box, shot by the giant green guy. He spins around, and she shoots a missile at him. The missile hits him. Boom. He spins around with the explosion. That was actually quite impressive from Microsoft Paint technology. Oh, and I love this sound here. Screech! No. Yeah, no, it's... so then I had a bit of a problem. So Microsoft Paint for Windows XP and earlier actually cannot rotate by less than 90 degrees. So he is stuck in a permanent diagonal. He cannot be vertical or horizontal. So I have to kill him real quick. So he destroys the red box, and then he comes down, there's a big thump. I use the ZZ Pizza Death skew method of making screen shake. So if you like cycle between these real fast, it looks kind of like it's shaking from the impact. But his acidic breath from earlier is now gotten onto him, but even though it didn't mess with Samus, at all. Oh, and then it turns out it was a Chozo repair droid. And then it gives the backstory that basically it was deactive during approximately 1,000 years and blah blah blah. Ugh, expositional dialogue. It's bad even here. Recent L, we had a visitor. Unit 19827 required repairs 1 month ago. So yeah, that was going to be the Samus clone from the very second episode, and it's going to show up again. Coordinates for the treasure. So this was going to launch the treasure arc. Are we missing some frames here? No, it just really jumps from 40 seconds down to 32. So that frame, there are 8 seconds between here and here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so watch this. This is actually a really interesting thing. There are 8 seconds between this frame and this frame. Then between this frame and the next frame, there are 0 seconds. She just teleports outside the facility. But then there's a slight little inconsistency here that I never noticed. That see, it drops from 32 down to 7. This is obviously some kind of mistake by me, because she moves that far in 0 seconds, and then she moves that far in 25 seconds. So, and then the blast shields are active, and then it's 6 seconds until impact, but it's on the opposite side, and then it's 5 written really big, and then 4 seconds pass between this frame and this frame, so we miss a lot of frames again. And she shoots a missile, which, oh yeah, I believe in this one, I redrew all of the sprites. I don't know if you can call them sprites, but all of them, all the little images of the characters, and including the missiles. So the missiles now look more accurate. And then there's, okay, so between this frame and this frame, there's actually 1 nanosecond. So, that explosion spreads real fast, and then the rest of an entire second is from here to here. I really could have gone with some consistent frame rate issues, So yeah, here's a really cool scene. I like this. She flies away from the planet, it blows up, and then there's this nice starry sky. So yeah, if you look at, oh nope, never mind. I did not redraw her ship for that part, just for the end. I thought I had a better drawing of her ship though in extras. So yeah, this is Yeah, there's Admiral Akbar. Yep. There's Morph Ball Samus. Yep. There's the missile. There's the Morph Ball. Right. See this over here is like the new drawing of her ship that I never actually put. No, did I put it into a couple? I don't think I put it into any. But yeah, it's there. Yeah. So okay. By the way, the only reason I'm showing you that one is because it's probably the best of the ones that I've done, or the ones that I still have rather. So okay, I was going to have like this whole epic arc, but then I never got to it. But I did come up with a conclusion pretty early on. So this was on February 18th, 2011. So you see Samus, she comes up with a treasure. It is a treasure beyond dreams, not beyond comprehension, beyond dreams. So this was actually a really subtle reference to the Minecraft YouTuber Dream. Dream has a treasure that is sought after by all Minecraft YouTubers, but this treasure is even more sought after than Dream's treasure. Even though this is... When did Dream actually make his channel? Anyway, she opens the box. She knows it's full of precious booty. Oh, but it's Rick Astley! It's just Rick Astley in the box doing the Rickroll. Oh, she got Rickroll. Wow. That's definitely not a relic of the time. It's not like I own three Rick Astley albums in my car that I listen to all the time. Yeah, no, it's 4 Rick Astley albums, not 3. Yeah, so see, I have this little Rickroll animation. Yep. There, that sure is Rick Astley in Microsoft Paint, huh? Okay. Do I have anything else good? Good? No. Do I have anything else? Yes. Okay, so this was made like... I really didn't make the first one until like a month after the rest of it. Yeah, so you can see kind of the timeline here. So I did the first frame at 344, the next one's 347. Man, you can even see like the time that I like took on each frame. So yeah, these 3 frames I did really quick, and this took me like a full minute. This took me 2 minutes, another 2 minutes. Yeah, and then you can see like there's a jump between number 36 and number 37 by like a full week. And then 5 days between here and here. Yeah, no, these were long-term projects. Okay, so this is Green Man. This was during my eco-terrorism phase. So you've got the politically correct adventures of Green Man, and rather than zooming in, it adds a colon there. So you hear in a sinister layer of Countess Carbon. So this is actually a really cool shot because it makes it look like she is actually moving and not the background is moving, despite the fact that it's actually the background moving. Okay, so a random button appears on the wall and it goes beep, boop, beep, rumble. Waha, my ozone hole punching device, OPD, is done. I don't know why ozone hole is hyphenated and not hole punching. I guess that would be OHD, and OPD just sounded better to my 12-year-old brain, I guess. Meanwhile, a lone figure scans the skyline. He sees what he was waiting for. The green symbol. Yeah, the recycling symbol. He quickly He quickly spring into action, for he is Green Man. Yeah, that's probably the best drawing I ever did in Microsoft Paint. Not gonna lie, and it looks even better once you make his cape flutter in the breeze. Just like whoosh. Stop right there, evildoer. Oh yeah, this is my patented comedy moment. So yeah, I scroll through like 10 different fonts. They're actually saying stuff. To this day, I don't remember what they're saying. They're probably talking about how the speech bubbles are wrong. Much better. So you were saying, you'll never stop my OPD. And then it fixes his speech bubble for a full frame. But that skips the frame where it's supposed to be just his speech bubble and not hers. So they're talking at the same time. I have no idea what that means, but I can and will stop you. Wait, that's not his voice. I have no idea what that means, but I can and will stop you. Yeah, he's kind of a Batman type guy. Not when I melt the polar ice caps and flood the earth. You fiend. Not ever Countess Carbon and her 2 oxygen helpers could do that. Aha, you admit it. I'm better than Countess Carbon. Yeah, so, clearly inspired by Batman with lightning reflexes, Green Man springs into action. See, I did springs correctly this time, but I feel like I could have used a different word, you know, I'd kind of used that already. Whoosh. So he just like randomly sticks out his hand and the lever disappears. But is our hero too late? Too late, haha. No, he pulls out his solar-powered energy efficient ozone restorer. Yeah, look, he just has one of those. There was never any real danger. Not if I can help it. Fire! And it makes the sound... yeah, kind of a beautiful sound, if you know what I'm saying. And then that somehow destroys her gun. Yeah, and she's like... she goes full psycho mode here. This is the... and then, again, it says, this is in the same frame. They're both saying, "I'll get you, Green Man!" And then, fire. And then she's in jail. And it's Green Jail. So you know that it's Green Man. That's a really large jail cell for just one person. I don't know. Maybe it's like free range. I don't know, man. That was kind of a weird time in my life, you know, 2011. Yeah, that was a bit of a wonky time. I don't remember a lot about it. So this is one of my, well, I say more recent, but it's still 11 years ago, almost to the day. So this is this was like the Monsters versus fast food. This was the most recent one. I use that term loosely. It's not actually finished, and I never actually finished it, so yeah, this is just the last one I ever did at all. And it uses a lot of the same tricks as you know, EFS and all that. Big poison cloud, you know, is, yeah, nothing's real special to look at. What even? Oh, I have extras in 2 different places. Cool. Okay. Green Man thing in Arby's. Okay, so this one was actually okay. So this whole animation thing was actually a collaboration with 2 of my friends. Both their names started with C, so it was CMC. So on this one was a sub studio called PM with my friend Phil Lord. So this one was Lego versus Pokemon. He really liked Pokemon. I really liked Lego. So I would be like, okay, look, I have a fleet of 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 15 pink fighters, and like multiplied like 10, 1, 2, like 20 times. And then this massive LMS ship. And he's like, I have Pikachu. And I'm like, oh, okay. Pikachu shoots lightning, you know, and then yeah, and then the massive fleet just fires back and Pikachu is gone. I feel like maybe they don't really make Legos small enough to make ships like that compared to the Pokemon, but I don't know, maybe like some of the bigger Pokemon, you know. I forget that guy's name. I'm not huge into Pokemon, but we played the card game a lot. Phil was really into Pokemon. Yeah, he blasts a laser through him and he's dead. That's Onyx, and Onyx like just I don't know why he's brown and not like gray or something. So then there's Riolu. And Riolu was somebody's favorite Pokemon. I don't remember whether Riolu was Phil's favorite Pokemon or one of my buddy's favorite Pokemon who he always said was really powerful, so I just no, yeah, it was definitely my friend who was a furry, so yeah, that kind of explains a lot of things that I didn't understand when I was 12. But yeah, so Riolu uses Tumble Over and shoots the missile back, and then he evolves into Lucario. And that's actually like, okay, I take it back. I take back the Green Man. That's probably my best Microsoft Paint drawing. Like, you could put that in like, I don't know, like Sanic or something, and like, you know, it would look, you know, like in place. So he uses the force field. He has a punch move, I think, on the card that I have of him. And then he uses his force field and just destroys the whole thing. And there's, yeah, that's it. LVP2 is like a, yeah. So that's actually a Lego that I built. This was one of my earliest Photoshop jobs. I did a lot of that for the Christmas video and Manfredo video, obviously, and for my thumbnails. So this was all done in Microsoft Paint here. So I took a picture and I used Microsoft Paint to cut out just that, and oh, that took forever. There's a reason it never moves throughout this whole thing. So you get the bumblebee. Oh, Okay, you can spin it around. Okay, you got the bumblebee guys, right? Let's go. What the heck's going on here? Okay, yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, they shoot out and like they destroy the mast a little bit, but they shoot a fire arrow and they set the bee on fire, and then it explodes and burns to ash. But then Mareep comes, and Mareep has lightning. You can tell I really liked Pokemon with lightning. And Phil did too. So they blast the laser that dissolves it. I really like dissolving stuff in paint. That was always my favorite. So then Lucario comes out and just obliterates the whole thing in like 2 seconds. And then somehow Lego still has half a point, and Pokemon has 2 points. I don't know why I gave them half a point. Maybe just because I felt like I was losing. But it wasn't really about losing or winning. It was more about, just having fun, just making some stuff. I've always loved making stuff, man. Yeah, you got Pikachu shooting this crane. So this one, rather than like a constant revolving door of Pokemon, this one is just like a serious fight between a yellow Pokemon and a yellow crane, and they're both dissolving for some reason, but they both dissolve at the same time. And Rick Astley, our good old buddy, shows up, completely redrawn for this scene. So Legos, they have 1 point, Pokemon 2.5, and Rick Astley has 25 points. So I think we all know who won that one. Are there any other? Let's see. I'm thinking Arby's, Rickroll, WTBD. So that stands for, okay, viewers, discretion advised, but it stands for What the Bloody Dickens. And I know that's a big swear word in England, but like for some reason, like what year was it? When was that? Like summer of 2011, I just started like swearing in a British accent using British swears. Yeah, I guess it like didn't technically count as swearing, but like weird, like you know. Anyway, there's like this leaf ship, and then there's like this massive caterpillar thing. I don't even know what this is, but like somehow it overheats it, and then Justin Bieber shows up. Okay, so the bane of my existence is putting in actual pictures into this, because I always saved all my pictures, you can see right up here, as a bitmap. If you save it as a JPEG, it causes what I call JPEG fuzziness, and that like kind of fuzzes the edges a little bit, which makes it really hard to like dump areas and stuff like that. So yeah, see there's me dumping areas on Justin Bieber's face. So then yeah, I don't even know what's happening here. Massive cannon comes out of the ground, and I honestly don't know what's going on here. I think that's kind of the point. This is kind of a post-avant video here. Oh yeah, and then the caterpillar turns into like a Final Fantasy shark boss, and then he blows it up, but then it turns into a ghost and comes back. His red eye is still there, and it blasts, and the ship rebuilds itself, and yeah, I really... Oh yeah, but the ship eventually does survive, because like a tiny bit of it stuck at the end, so it just rebuilt itself. But it's forever changed by that harrowing experience, just like you are now. Well, at any rate, this has been an interesting video to make. Real nice to look back, 10, 11 years in the past and just be like, dang, man, what was I thinking back then, right? It's like I'm a whole different guy now, but I still have the memories of that kid just making little animations of Samus blowing up stuff and stuff blowing up fast food restaurants. I was a really weird kid. Still am.